Hey YouTube, welcome back to EagleX and you already know what time it is. We are doing the final color breakdown for the Gundam Card Game Set 1 Newtype Rising, and this time it's going to be red. So, like usual, we're going to go from commons all the way up to LRs. We're going to talk about the general impact of each card and whether or not it got better or worse with the full set reveal. So, thank you guys for supporting the channel this far. I hope you guys have been enjoying the Gundam content, and let's hop into the coverage. Okay, so the first card we have here is the Gira Doga sleeves, and this just says it's a level 3 2 cost, 2-3, decent stats. However, it has one of the worst clauses I think you could have in this game, and that's when destroyed. And it just says when destroyed, choose one enemy with 5 or less AP, deal 1 damage to it. This literally means it has to be destroyed. They can dance around it. Of course, with the 2-3 stat line, maybe it can get in some damage, or you can just like ram it into something and then deal 2 damage and then deal a 3rd damage upon death. But like, I just feel like losing bodies on purpose is kind of rough in this game, so I'm just not really high on this one. Now the next card we have here is the Dressian sleeves, and this is a 2-2 2-3. That's fine for what it is. It doesn't have like an impressive attack stat. 3 is decent HP. However, 4 is kind of the best place you want to be for survivability, especially in those early game footsie areas. So and then the next one we have is the Gallus K. Now the Gallus K is a level 3-2 cost, 3-2 on the stat line, and realistically it's got a cool effect. The activate action once per turn, choose one unit that is level 4 or higher. It gets +1 AP for the battle. But I think a lot of people are going to find that 2 HP is a very fragile state in this game right now. I just don't see this one surviving very much of anything. It can get blocked easily by cards like Elfrith. It can get burned out easily by a plethora of cards in red. It just doesn't trade well, and most of the time if it meets something in battle, it's going to get folded, so that kind of drops the stocks on this card a lot. Now the next card we have here is the Zulu. This is a level 2 cost, 2-2, and this has a very interesting effect. Attack, if you are attacking the enemy player, this unit gets +2 AP during this battle. That will make a 4-2, allowing it to smash EX bases fairly easily. It can't smash normal bases, but with the help of a card like Versailles, it's going to be able to get up to that 5 threshold and really smash those. So this is a card that's very interesting. Do I think it'll find its way into all lists? I'm not sure, but I do think that this is a card that, depending on how aggressive the build is definitely worth being in there. It can't link, and that is a little rough because you have to play this card, hope it survives with this measly 2 HP, and then go in for it the following turn. But like, yeah, that's the main thing that hurts it. This guy could link. If you could just literally be like, okay, I have my whole board full of weenies, play this card, play a link, and then or play a pilot that links to the end and swing in, that would be so good. But it doesn't do that, and so here we are. The next card is a Zaku Mariner. This is a level 2 1 cost, 2-2. Just the stat line you really do want to see from these early game bodies. Nothing too special about this, except for it is one of the assembly of level 2 1 cost 2-2s. The next card we have here is the Zoot. No, but seriously, the Zoot. It's a level 1 1 cost, 0-2, activate main, support 1. Like I said when we first got this card revealed, I'm like that it comes out on turn 1, but I think the proper support line is to play a turn 1 1-1 and then go into a turn 2 support that gives support 2, give it support 2, and then punch out the EX base. That's a really good aggressive curve, and then they have 2 bodies to deal with that can go sideways the following turn into your now EX baseless shields. This is kind of weird because unless you link with something on turn 2, this will come out and then have to support something else, and then it's just got the 2 HP. I think all around this card is statted awkwardly, and I don't like it very much. The next one is the Goon. Yeah, look, it's just, if you want to send me your goons, if you're at an event, you just want to give me the goon cards, like, yeah, like I'll make a cape out of this or something. Like, we'll do something funny with it. But yeah, no, there's really nothing much to say about this. It's a 1-1, 1-2. At least with the 2, it can survive some of the early things, like another thing with 1-1. But realistically, like I said, 2 HP is very fragile, so I don't really expect anything from this card. Then we have the Din, and it is a level 2, 2 cost, 3/2. Once again, while its stats are very cool, this falls into the strike dagger goof situation. You have a bunch of 2/2, 3/2s that seem like they're going to be cool because they eat the EX base, but 2 is a very, very good stat line on HP to be eaten by an Elfrith, to be destroyed by a close combat, to be just like kind of manhandled by quite a few things. And then the next card we have here is Dirka Elfman. This is a pilot and level 3 1 cost, +1/+1. When linked, discard one if you do draw one. Not the best because you are one, filtering. You're not even really just getting a full draw, but on top of that, it does kind of feel weird because mechanically this is the bad version of filtering. You were discarding a card before you see your next option. Instead of seeing your next option, deciding what the worst card in your hand is, you could discard what is your worst card and then draw a worse card, and that's kind of just the problem with this, but it is what it is. The next card we have here is the Assault on Torrington Base, and this is just a level 1 1 cost that also, this says action, choose 2 friendly units, they gain +1 AP for the turn, and then it also doubles the pilot Yonam. And yeah, like, that's cool, the 2 friendly units, they gain +1 AP, but again, in this game right now, keeping bodies, establishing bodies, that's the name of the game, baby. And having a card that requires you to have a board for it to work just automatically means that this is a card that requires you to be doing well for it to do anything. And then the next card we have here is going to be Stealth Stratagem. And Stealth Stratagem is just a level 2 1 cost command. Main/action, choose one enemy unit with 2 or less AP, deal 2 damage to it, and it doubles the pilot Nicole. Now, this card is dog water. I'm just saying it's dog water because anything that requires your opponent to have a level or something with 2 or less AP, just deal 2 damage to it. I mean, that kind of sucks. And you got to think about it. Like, what is this actually getting to? There's a lot of 3/2s that are getting put out in the game that won't even be able to be touched by this. You can hit something like Ilfrith with it, and then Ilfrith will just have half its health still, and you just went a card down in hand for it to still be able to block something and probably take it with it that early in the game. There's a lot of things that this card does not hit, and what it does hit is almost inconsequential. Then you have the Mining Asteroid Plow, and this is just a level 2 1 cost 0/6. The 0/6 is proved invaluable for being able to just keep you safe while you're trying to build up your late game plays. The wing deck normally has to use the 0/6 just like underground base in order to keep themselves healthy, and there's going to be a point where there's going to be a green-red high-end deck, and that deck will be using the Mining Asteroid Plow. So plus the underground desert base. There's just a lot of cool things that you can do when you have just that extra leeway. Now, granted, there are more and more like decks coming together that I think will be able to hit that 6 threshold very easily, just because there are multiple effects that may give support, or an effect just like it that'll actually push you into that 6 range when you normally would have been at 5 for the base busting. But all in all, if you don't have those effects online, this will get you an extra turn, well, an extra attack, which could lead to an extra turn of being safe from your shields being hurt more. Next card, the Kshatriya. Now the Kshatriya is very, very good. Just a level 4 2 cost 3/4, great stat line. Cyber Newtype as the trait, meaning that as of now you can link with Merida or you can link with Full Frontal. If you link with either of those, you'll be able to have a pretty beefy thing. Full Frontal making this a 5/6, Merida making this a 5/5, and then being able to ping when you swing with Merida, whereas Full Frontal will cheat out something. And then yeah, this is just a very, very good card, and because Merida is pretty much the star pilot of red right now, it really is going to help you get in the groove for just having multiple things she can link to. The next card we have here is the Girazulu Guards type, and the Girazulu Guards type is going to be a level 4 3 cost that actually just deploys and deals 1 damage to anything. It doesn't have to be rested, nothing like that. It's a 2/4, so won't ever be putting in work for attack really, but its HP means that it's going to be able to take a hit, and you might be able to get some good chumps off of it if they're playing like some small 2/2 weenies and something like that. You know, at least take one body off the board and force them to attack into it, saving your shields or something else. But the ping can also kind of increase what it's able to do. There are gonna be some times where there might be some trades or some like exchanges that leave something with 1 HP, and this guy will come up and clean it up and provide a body that can go into shields the following turn. So I like it. Now the next card is the Gyaradoga Heavy Arm type, and this is a level 4 3 cost that has the activate main once per turn of choosing one enemy unit with 2 or less AP, deal 1 damage to it, and it's a 4/2. I don't really like this card. One, of course, that AP limit for dealing damage is kind of severe and rough, but also the 2 HP means that it can be destroyed by a lot of things. Like, imagine you try to swing with I mean, you wouldn't swing into this field, but this 4/3, this level 4 3 cost 4/2 can literally be blocked by an Elfrith, and the Elfrith and him trade. Like, a blocker that they just paid 2 for will trade, and that kind of sucks. Like, I just think that kind of sucks. Now maybe there's a point in this. If we had sideboards, I think this would be great against little aggro, because you could just actually just like start pinging stuff on top of the ping you already have. But I'm not really a big fan of this card. Could be wrong about it, but I'm not a big fan of this card. And then the next card we have here is the Baku. Is that how you pronounce it? I don't remember. I know this is from Seed. I just don't ever remember the pronunciation for this. I just remember it has like a beam saber in its mouth. Anywho, it's a level 3 2 cost with the activate main support 2/3 stat line. That's pretty fine. If you're going second, this can come out as early as turn 2, which makes it great. This is one of the cards that can lead up into a turn 1 1 cost, turn 2 support 2 that's gonna break the EX base. We love it. We literally love it. I think this card is fine as is. And now this next card, the Zeno. This is a level 2 2 cost 2/1 stat line. During your turn, while this unit is battling an enemy that is level 2 or lower against first strike, this is pretty mid for me completely, because 1, he only touches lobies. 2, on top of only touching lobies, you get 1 swing off with this, and then they could literally chip you with a 1/1 and just blow this guy up. They can ping him for 1. There's a lot of things they can get at this for 1 HP. If 2 HP was bad, 1 HP is worse. So yeah, this card is kind of a little bit of a nothing burger for me. And then we are going to go into the next card, which is Yazak, and he is a straight pilot. This is a level 3 1 cost. It says once per turn, when an enemy link unit is destroyed with damage while this unit is attacking, draw 1. So realistically, this is kind of like a worse Zex, because Zex just destroys units and you draw 1. This needs to destroy an enemy linked unit, bro. Like an enemy link. So if you somehow destroyed one of the beefiest cards on your opponent's board, and like you get a draw. But a lot of the times you're gonna be trading with this, and it's not like this guy gives like +2 HP or anything. Like, he's just actually going to ram into something and then draw, but you already used the pilot and the suit, so like it's not even like you plussed or you broke even. You're actually still -1 minimum. So yeah, no. I am not great on this card. I am not high on this card whatsoever. No sir. But first, I do want to go and have a quick special message. Alright y'all, you already know what time it is. I gotta give a quick shout out to 2 stores that I know will be supporting the Gundam card game, and that would be Hyper Beam Cards, based out of Tijuana, as well as Mystic TCG, based in Missouri. So both of these stores do a bunch of Bandai games, they hold a bunch of events, and they do hold this card game. Now I know initial allocation looks a little scary, but hopefully as we get more, maybe even a reprint and then future sets, they will be your premier places to buy this card game. So go down in the description, check out their socials, check out their website, and make sure you lock in your TCG product today. All right, let's get back to the video. All right, so the next card we have here is the Desert Tiger. This is just interesting. He's just a man action. Choose 1 friendly Zaf unit against AP +3 during this turn. Because it only costs 1, this is actually kind of a really cool battle trick. It's what Indignation wants to be. Indignation increases the attack by 2, but this is actually just a archetype specific increase by 3. I wish the Indignation did this, except it just like automatically chose Xeon. Like, they just made Indignation bad, but made this card good. For a worse archetype in my opinion, but I digress. I think this is actually a really, really cool card, and it can turn some chumps into actual trades very quickly that your opponent didn't think was going to happen. The next card we have here is the Xeon Remnant Forces. This is a level 2 1 cost that just says choose 1 enemy unit, deal 1 damage to it. This is a 1 for like a 1 cost for 1 damage, but you guys are going to find, like I said during testing, that commands are very, very finicky. You use too many commands throughout a game and you'll wonder why your hand's at 3 cards while your opponent's hand's at 6, 7, or 8. And the commands really have to go a long way. Usually protecting bodies is the best way you could use a command, and this is just not actually it. This is a 1-for-1 damage, and a lot of actual bodies do this job themselves, so kind of gets a little whack. And then we actually have the Gamma, and this is a level 2 1 cost that just says activate action, rest this base. Choose one friendly Zaft unit with 5 or more AP. It gains Breach 3 during this battle. Because it's activate action, you can literally attack, see if your opponent blocks or not, and if they choose to block, you can use this as an action to give your card Breach. This is pretty good. Zaft is getting some very, very cool support. I'm not sure if the deck is going to get there tournament play-wise, but I definitely think this is really, really cool. Also, don't forget that technically Destiny Gundam is Zaft, so whenever we do get Destiny, we'll probably be able to loop back around to all this Zaft support and really see what it hits for. Now we're at the rare section, and the first card we have here is the Shamblo, and this is a just a level 8/7 cost. This says attack if 2 or more other rested friendly units are in play, choose one enemy unit, deal 3 damage to it. This is actually a very much so big swing, and when your board is wide, you can actually swing with this thing, deal 3 damage to something, make sure you pop a base, and then swing with something else in your board to clear something. It can't be the first thing that swings in a turn, but as long as it's like weaved in the middle, it's gonna do things to great effect. Now, the other cool thing here is that it's got the Newtype trait / Cyber Newtype. And that means that you could pilot this with Benager, you could pilot this with Amuro, you could pilot this with Sayla. I wouldn't put it on Sayla, but you could pilot this with Full Frontal, Merida, and the list goes on, and it will grow as we get more and more pilots. So this is very, very cool. Next card is Zaku 1 Sniper Type, level 2, 2 cost, 0/1, and he has support 1, and when he deploys, you're going to look at the top card of your deck. If it's Xeon or Neo Xeon, you may reveal and add it to your hand and return any remaining cards to the bottom of your deck. I will not hold you guys. I know a lot of you guys are going to flame me for this. I don't really like this card. I feel like he will check the top card of your deck and add it to your hand, but in exchange for adding the next card to your hand, this card does literally nothing. Now granted, yes, it's support 1. I definitely think the support 2 is the best way you could beef up your turn 1 play to make sure it can go through a base. I wish this was support 2. Maybe that would make it too good if he could crush base and find the card. But with the one HP, I feel like there's a lot that can get at this guy. The fact that he has 0 AP means he can't actually break a shield by himself. He needs to be supported. He does have a link. So, and the link is Xeon. So you can link him with Makuve, you can link him with Char, and if you link him with Char, this guy will get high maneuver. So that is actively pretty cool. So there are some plays with this guy that are going to be above the normal. However, I'm just not too high on this guy. I think that you could be building a lot more momentum and just like playing out a better turn 2 play. But that's just me. We'll see if that opinion changes later on with more testing. Next card we have here is Blitz Gundam. Blitz Gundam is a level 4, 3 cost. Deploy, choose one of your Zaft units with 5 or more HP or AP, and it gains first strike during this turn. This is great because this is just going to give a lot of stuff in your deck first strike. And as we know, if you guys have been testing, if you guys have been playing around with Duo, if you guys have been playing around with Banshee, Banshee Destroy Mode, this first strike is one of the best keywords in this game. It's like actually removal on a body, and most of the time if something has first strike, it's just blowing through something and not giving a crap. So first strike is an excellent keyword, and I think that this is one of the shining gems of the Zaft deck. Next, we got the Legao, and this is a level 3, 2 cost, 2/3 attack. If this unit has 5 or more AP and it is attacking an enemy unit, choose one enemy unit, deal 2 damage to it. This is cool, but you got to have a lot of moving pieces. Now, Zaft is 100% its link. It doesn't have to link with the Desert Tiger. However, at the same time, you are going to have to give it a little more work for it to be at 5. Like, you'd have to link it with a valid pilot that gives 2 AP, and then on top of 2 AP, you'd also have to give it maybe like a Basilis Vesalius proc on it, or effect, to make it level, or to make it 5 AP and then swing. Either way, I just kind of feel like this guy isn't getting enough in order to like, you have to put a lot of stuff on it in order to give it that effect, and I'm not really that fond of having to set up and invest that much in one card to get this effect. And yeah, now we are actively on the dual Gundam, and this is a level 3 2 cost 3/3, so great stats, can be played fairly early. And it just says when this unit has 5 more HP, it gains Breach 5. Since Zaft is its only link requirement, there are a couple of pilots that work, and putting this guy up to 5 is going to allow him to breach. That's fine. That's honestly fine. We love this. And even if you can only get him to 4 with more HP, you're going to still be able to use Vesalius to get him up to 5. That field card, or that base, is really putting in the most work, and I'm happy to hear it. So yeah, next we are going to go to Marita Cruz, and she is honestly the queen of red right now. She is such a good pilot. Level 4, 1 cost, burst, add this card to your hand, +2/+1, Neo, Xeon, and Cyber Newtype. During link attack, yeah, just during link attack, choose one enemy unit whose level is equal to or lower than this unit, deal 1 damage to it. This is great. When you put her on her Kshatriya, she's going to be able to immediately ping 2 things for 1, and then you're going to attack and, for the most part, be able to ping anything for 1 damage. However, when you pair her to things like Banshee Destroy mode, since that unit can attack twice, you're going to be able to ping twice, once for each attack. She's just very, very good. Her traits, the fact that she gives 2 attack is great. She's just overall a wonderful pilot. And then we have Battle of Aces, level 3 2 cost, burst, choose one enemy unit, deal 2 damage to it. So close combat if it bursts. Main/action, choose 1 damage enemy unit, deal 3 damage to it. This card is very, very good and really does force some incredibly out-of-pocket trades. However, the one thing you're gonna find out when you look at this card is if your opponent doesn't have a card that's already tried to like chump something, or you don't have a lot of ping effects, like you need to be playing a deck that has a lot of ping effects. The Kshatriya, the gun tanks, you know, the guard types, like you need some ping in your deck to make sure you can get that first damage through without having to rely on swinging the body into it to then finish it off with Battle of Aces. Otherwise, if your deck is supported to play this card can be some extremely good removal. Otherwise, it can kind of fall lackluster. You definitely have to build around this card. So I think it's still pretty good though. Now the next card we have is Extreme Hatred. I hate this card. I'm just gonna put it out there. It's just a level 6 1 cost, which means it can only be played more than halfway into the game. Main, choose 2 of your active units, rest them. If you do, choose 1 enemy unit, deal 3 damage to it. That's rough. Taking 2 attacks off the board just to deal 3 damage, especially coming off the heels of checking out a card like Battle of Aces, is just not it. Doubles as a pilot, but we're really not looking forward to that sort of thing. And then next we have the undisputed, like, best, like this card is just so good in red, so freaking good. And it's the Kshatriya, and like just a level 5 4 cost, when paired, Cyber Newtype/Newtype pilot, choose 1 to 2 enemy units, deal 1 damage to them. Because this is Cyber Newtype/Newtype, oh my gosh, there's so many things you can pair into this. And I think I messed up. Yeah, like because it's Cyber Newtype/Newtype, you can pair, like I said, if you're running blue-red, you could pair Amuro into this, you could pair Sayla into this, you could pair Benager into this, and Benager will get you the well, it's not really a link, it's just when paired, you can get those. But the point is, you can link all these things, or pair all these things, and you will get the burn too. You could pair Benager and get the burn too. You won't get the link draw, but you'll get the burn too. You can pair Amuro with it, and you can rest something and burn 2 things. But when you pair Marita with it and it's a link, you're going to actually be able to burn 2 things and then swing and burn something else. So you're just really spreading out all this damage, and it's very, very thematic because her bits, her funnels, are like going out and just like pinging things. So this makes a lot of sense. Death by 1,000 cuts, and I think this card is absolutely insane. When you pair, or when you link this card with Marita, it's going to become a 7/5. yes, a lot of things can one-shot 5, but a lot of things are getting destroyed when they try to crash into a 7 AP stat. So yes, all around a very, 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 very good card, and I guarantee you this will be like the backbone linchpin of Red for quite some time. Then you've got Dual Gundam Assault Shroud. This is our next LR, level 5, 4 cost, and then this just says when paired. Look at the top 3 cards of your deck. You may deploy one Zaft unit who's level 4 or lower amongst them. Return the remaining cards randomly to the bottom of your deck. Now this is really, really interesting, but what this also means is that you are going to have to you're going to have to saturate your deck with Zaft, which, to be fair, Zaft is like the Power Ranger deck of the format, so you were already going to be running a high concentration of Zaft cards. But to run this card efficiently, you're gonna need to make sure that that top 3 does not miss. And even with that, like, that means you're gonna be running lower amounts of commands, your normal amount of bases probably, and then you're really just gonna be trying to slam those Zaft units off the top and hopefully dodge some piles when you do this. But playing a body and getting 2 bodies just sounds pretty great. The question is, will the consistency allow you to do that? We'll find out with more testing. And then the last LR and last red card of this set is going to be Buster Gundam, level 4, 2 cost, 1/4, activate main support 3 guys, and then during pair, coordinator pilot once per turn. When you use this card's support to increase the Zaft unit's AP, set this unit to active. So this guy can either support once attack, or he can support twice, and I think that that's just amazing. I love the idea of this card. The question is, how is he going to fit into the deck? And I will be building Zaft just because I think that it just is a fun deck. I love Power Ranger type decks. I love, like, everybody gets together and we just build the tower type decks, and I feel like that's what this is. So yeah. So yeah, all in all, I think red is actually pretty cool. There's a lot of ping damage in here, and I think that a lot of people initially wrote it off, but I think people are starting to really see that when you have like a 3 cost, and normally it would survive things, you just put 1 damage on that bad boy, and then he gets dropped by a 1 drop that has 2 AP. So people are really starting to see the value in pinging things lower, the value in pinging something once, and then following through with another burn damage source that clears it off completely. Kshatriya is just amazing with Marita Cruz. There's a lot of work that you could put in with these effects going in tandem, and I think that a lot of people are just now starting to realize how snapped that is. In terms of colors, I do think that red is not the same kind of powerhouse that like white is, but I think it definitely kind of actually carries harder than like white, or than green does. I hate to say that, but I think it does carry. I think, like, in all honesty, red might be the second best color to focus your deck around, in my opinion. I think that, like, whether you're blue red or green red, I think that those those color combinations have a lot of power to them, a lot of synergy and cohesion. So I'm actually really excited to see how these decks run. Now, the Zaft side of things, I definitely need to check that out, because Neo Zeon, very strong in what it does. Zaft, I need to practice that more and, you know, just tread the roads less traveled when it comes to testing, because I think there's something there. Whether that something is going to be high locals tier or competitive event tier, that's the question, but we will be testing it out. Now that we got all 4 colors done, we're going to move over to more gameplay. We're going to move over to more discussion, archetype breakdowns, deck lists, testing lists, stuff like that. So I hope you guys enjoy. I hope you guys are loving the Gundam content so far, and just know that it's going to get bigger and better on this channel. So thank you for that. And the last thing I want to say here is, if you like the video, and if you love the content, make sure you subscribe for more in the future. And yeah, go in the description, check out all the Quadrants of Universe X, including EagleX Gaming's just online webcam events. They hold webcam events every Wednesday, and as of tomorrow, there will actually be a beta alt art tournament in case there's still room to sign up for it. So go in the description, check out those, fight your heart out, and really just enjoy the game. Thank you guys, and I'll see you later.